Hello and welcome back to the power rankings for The Challenge All-Stars Season 3, where everything stands after the results of Episode 6 heading into Episode 7. And let me tell you right now, I know I probably said this on the last video, but the game has shaken up. What we wanted to happen is happening. The predictability, at least on the women's side, has really shaken things up. I think the men are kind of settling down here a little bit, but we are heading into the top 6 for this season, the final 6, and we get to see who is at the top and who I have at the bottom because of the results that happened after episode 6. Now, before we can get into these power rankings, I do want to talk about how I classified and labeled everyone's performance for this past week's daily challenge called Stacked. How did I determine who was number 7, who was 6th place, who was 5th place, 4th place, 2nd, and 3rd? When I looked at the performances of everyone who did the challenge, I took whoever was farther along or progressed further than the other person when purged, took the higher ranking. So let's say in phase 1 for both the men and the women, because Sylvia was still scratching at her board when everybody had left and taken the paddle boards and Veronica had gotten her code, I had Sylvia coming in 7th place, last place, and Veronica getting 6th place because she was at her paddle and she was trying to figure out her code. Over on the men's heat, Mark got 7th place because he couldn't find a code at all, and even though MJ had 2 codes, it looked like he had his codes and was running to his paddle to unlock his paddle while Mark was sitting there still scratching looking for a number. He didn't even think he had a number on his board. Now on phase 2, because of the edit where it looks like Wes grabbed his puzzle pieces before Nehemiah could grab his puzzle pieces, I gave Wes 4th place and Nehemiah 5th place. And on the women's side, it looks like Naya was ahead of Kayla when they cut back over to them grabbing their puzzle pieces. So I have Naya at 4th place and Kayla coming in 5th place. Now for 2nd and 3rd, whoever was the furthest in constructing their puzzle tower got 2nd and then 3rd. So Derek took home 3rd place, Jordan took home 2nd place, while Brad, of course, took 1st place. And on the opposite end, Ronnie was only 1 piece away for the longest time, so I gave her 2nd place. John A got 3rd place, and of course, KellyAnne got 1st place. I hope that was clear enough to kind of give an idea of my thought processes and how I read into the edit and what I used in developing these rankings coming into this video. If anyone has any questions to the rankings or the positionings that I gave to everybody who finished the daily challenge, leave me a comment in the comment section below and I will get to everybody and try to clear any further if I wasn't able to make myself clear. But now let's move into the power rankings. At number 6, I have Nehemiah and Veronica. Nehemiah, I mean, I say it pretty much every single week. He has not won anything. He even talks about his strategy being like he's a ghost in the house, that he's not even here. That's kind of right, because in the edit, I don't really see him too much. It just seems like this season, Nehemiah is just going for a ride. He's trying to keep his head down, go under the radar. That is the strategy, and it is working out for him. He does have a lot of numbers in the game, but at some point, you're gonna have to win something to make it further. And on the women's side, I have now Veronica falling from number 4 last episode to number 6, bottom of the ranks. Now, I will say that this does have something to do with the treehouse losing a member in Sylvia. Yes, they only lost 1 member. Yes, they still have decent amount of numbers, but they lost a huge competitor in Sylvia who was winning a ton to help out the Treehouse Alliance. I really think she did very poorly this past week, in this past week's episode, in the daily challenge. I mean, she couldn't even put a 4-digit code into a lock to get a paddle correctly. It's only 4 numbers. It can only go like one way or the other. This game is stacked. This is just going to get tougher and tougher to win into power. I mean, if Veronica doesn't win, she's gonna get called out by either Naya, KellyAnne, or if one of those 2 players wins, she will be the one getting sent into the elimination. Either her or Kayla or Ronnie. So there's really no place to hide realistically, and with the battle lines drawn and have been drawn since way early in the game, I mean, this is going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to win and push forward into this game. So I have Veronica the most vulnerable in this game on the women's side. So that's why I have her at number 6. Let's move into number 5. And at number 5, I have Mark. I had Mark at number 4 last week. I dropped him down to number 5. Didn't do great in this daily challenge. I don't think he really wanted to win. I think he was fine with whoever won because who cares? I think he was quivering a little bit because Derek was selected to go into elimination and he thinks Derek is his number 1 or believes Derek is his number 1. I think there's a lot stronger bonds in this game. Like, Mark and Derek have a strong tie. I just think that there's stronger ties in this game who are playing a much better game and has stronger connections, like Wes, Brad, and Nehemiah. So I have Mark at number 5 because of that. And Ronnie, kind of the same thing that I said with Veronica. I think Ronnie is just a lot more athletic than, say, Veronica. So going into a physical elimination, I think Ronnie could pull out a win against some of the other competitors that she could be going up against, specifically Veronica. So even though Veronica has won into Power twice, I think that is null and void at this point because I think Veronica would be called down first to go into elimination instead of Ronnie. But also, I think Ronnie could hold her own in an elimination more so than Veronica. Maybe I'm not giving Veronica enough credit because she does have some elimination experiences. She has impressed me in some of the past eliminations that she's been in, and Ronnie hasn't been in any eliminations. Maybe I'm putting too much on the wild card effect that Ronnie possesses because she's never been in elimination. So we don't know what she could give in an elimination. I just think that she is a bit stronger, especially after the performance we saw in this past week's Daily Challenge. Let's move into number 4, and I have Derek at number 4 and Naya at number 4. Naya I have jumping above and beyond last place at number 7 last week, all the way up to number 4 this week because of her ties with KellyAnne, it looked like. KellyAnne and John A. and Jordan. So it seems like she is a lot more socially connected than what the edit had previously made her look like. To then be called out, blindsided, and take care of business like that, so impressive. I think she showed that she's not just a physical threat, but she is someone who you do not want to face off in elimination, period, after the performance she put on in this week's episode. Derek I have up here at number 4. He was able to get 3rd place in this past week's daily challenge, and then winning in a maze puzzle and doing a billiard shot to get a ball in a mouse hole, and winning against MJ, getting 4 stars. So with all that being taken into account, and he also has a Treehouse Alliance, also he has Mark, and also he has Brad, it seems. Taking all of that into context, I have Derek at number 4. Let's move into the top 3, and at number 3, I have Jordan and KellyAnne. I have KellyAnne roaring up with that impressive daily challenge comeback. Comeback KellyAnne should be her new nickname because she did incredible. Took a power move, took a power shot at Sylvia and the Treehouse Alliance, and I think this is going to help dismantle the Treehouse. I think we're about to see the Treehouse crumble into a pile of sticks, and it's all because of KellyAnne's win and her taking a shot this week. And on the opposite side, I have Jordan staying at number 3. He is still a strong competitor and can still hold his own against Wes and Brad. It's just that the two of them have made stronger moves and have stronger ties in this game. So that's why I have Jordan at number 3. Not much else to say. Didn't do a whole lot this episode, wasn't featured a whole lot in this episode. Still a very strong competitor though. At number 2, I have Wes and Kayla. Yes, Kayla's number 1 did leave this game, but Kayla is still a very strong competitor. Physically strong, she can still win in these daily challenges. She has been in the authority 3 times, and I think she has a great opportunity to keep winning and keeping herself safe. And even if she goes into elimination, I think she can get the job done. So that's why I have Kayla staying at number 2 this week. And for Wes, he too wasn't featured a whole lot in this episode. I had him drop this week, not because of anything he did. It was just the person that leapfrogged over him for the number 1 spot had a much more impressive week. And let's just get into it. It's Brad and John A at number 1. Brad, let's talk about him first. Impressive win here, getting 1st place in the daily challenge. Not only did he get the 1st place in the daily challenge, this episode, MJ was taken out. MJ was his biggest adversary. after MJ leaves, Brad is just friends with everybody in this game. Maybe not so much Jordan, but he is connected with Wes, Derek, Mark, and Nehemiah. If I'm Brad, I don't want to win any more this season, because if you win, you're going to piss off somebody who you deem as a friend. If Nehemiah wins, I'm good. If Mark wins, I'm good. Derek, I should be good. Wes, I'm good. I guess the only worry is that if out of everybody, if somebody picks Jordan and Jordan picks you as Brad, that's the only worry. I just don't think Jordan would take a shot at Brad. Actually, maybe that's wrong. Maybe that is wrong, because Jordan likes to take a shot at the big dogs, and Brad is the biggest dog in the game, winning 4 times into the Authority. He is an incredible physical competitor and also a mental competitor. I mean, he's killing these puzzles, killing this math, and winning in the physicality department. So Brad is doing a fantastic job. And yes, I have John A. staying at number 1 from last week's rankings. I know. John A. takes a hit with MJ leaving the game. But I would debate that John A. actually is better off with MJ out of this game. I think MJ was putting more of a target on John A.'s back being in the game than instead of her just coming in alone. Coming in as the 2 past winners and seeing how strong their bond was in this game can be scary to people. Now with MJ gone, her number 1 spot is open for anybody that wants to jump into it. She seems to be in good standings with Kayla, KellyAnne, Naya, possibly Veronica. She was talking to Wes earlier. So I think that now this opens up John A. as a free agent, which really helps out her game, I feel. I think that she has been playing a very strong game. She has a great social ties. Even with the sabotage, she got like 3rd place this past week's episode. It did not stop her once in stride. And then we saw at the elimination where Sylvia was like, oh, I gotta switch up my pick. Because she was gonna pick John A. for the elimination, saw it was a puzzle, and then swapped over to Naya because she was worried about John A. I think John A. to everybody is viewed as a strong competitor, but also a scary one now that she had been into elimination. She seemed fierce, she seemed confident, and then she is known as a puzzle queen. And so I think people are scared to take shots at her. And those are my power rankings for this week for the Challenge All-Stars 3. What do you think about my power rankings? Let me know down in the comment section below. Do you agree with my power rankings? Do you disagree? And if you disagree, what do your power rankings look like? I want to know what you have to say about this and what the state of the game looks like, because I'm just so excited. This episode got me so excited that I can't wait for next week. But what do you think about this season so far? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I want to give a special shout out thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who has watched this video up to this point. I'll be back really soon with more Challenge All-Stars content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.